Your words can change your finances. You see, very few people understand how powerful words are and how your words can either determine how successful you'll be or how much of a failure you'll be simply based on what you speak out of your mouth. Now, I first discovered this law when I read the book of Proverbs 18, verse 21, many years ago. And it reads that death and life are in the power of the tongue, which means that your tongue is so powerful that you can cause something to die. Your tongue or your words are so powerful that you can cause something to live. Now, the second part says that, and those who love it will eat its fruit. There's another translation that says that we are going to reap the consequences of the words that we speak. Very, very important for you to know that the words that you speak on a continuous basis is producing two things. One, death, and the second is life. You see, neuroscientists have discovered something very remarkable, that the speech center of our brain will cause us to act in alignment with the words that we speak and bring those things into reality. So, for example, when a person says that I am sick, even if the person is the healthiest person on the planet, the moment they begin to affirm that they are sick, the speech center of their brain tells their body to begin to act in a way that will cause them to become sick, to begin to attract those things that would make them sick. That was discovered by scientists. But guess what? The Bible already said that thousands of years ago, that your words can produce life or your words can produce death. Now, one thing you have to realize is this, that your words will dictate what you believe. All right. Because once you start to say something over a period of time, you begin to believe it, even if it's false. Now, the second thing is your belief system would dictate your behaviors. So when you believe something to be true, you begin to act in a way that helps you to confirm what you believe. And the last step is once you begin to behave or act out what you believe, then you begin to create the results that you either like or you don't like. You must understand this two principle, that your words produces death or it produces life. So how does this relate to your finances? You see, so many people have been speaking death over their finances for so long, and they wonder why things aren't working. So in this example, you see that we have the tree of death and we have the tree of life. Now, when you talk about a tree, we know that a tree does not just appear out of nowhere. We know that fruit does not just appear out of nowhere. The first thing is that you must first plant a seed. When you plant the seed then grows to become a tree after you've watered it for a long period of time, and eventually the tree then produces fruit. Well, guess what? The seed that you plant every day are your words. This is it right here. Your words is eventually going to grow and germinate to eventually produce the fruit on a tree. So one of the things that people fail to realize is that the longer they take or the longer they speak negative things over their finances, the more they're going to produce fruits that they don't like. What are some words that people often speak? You often hear people say things like "I am broke." Now, I want you to understand this. Any word that you say after the phrase "I am" becomes your identity. So when you say "I am broke," you are personalizing it and making it manifest in your life. That's the seed. When you say things like "I am just getting by," that is a seed. When you say things like "times are hard," "I can't afford it," that is a seed. See, the longer you say these words, the longer or the more you're producing fruit that you don't like. And what are some of the fruits? Debt. People wonder why they're in debt for so long and they can never get out of it. It's because of the seed that you've been planting. Okay. Some people believe that, money is the root of all evil. Some people believe the seed that money is not that important. If you believe money is not that important, then you're not going to have any of it because you don't you're affirming that it's not important. So whatever's not important to you is not going to come your way. If you tell your kids, if you tell your spouse that they're not important long enough, very soon they will no longer be part of your life. Okay. Now, your words also produces bills. What I mean by bills, there's certain bills that are necessary, but there's some certain expenses that are absolutely not necessary. Have you ever wondered why every time you get paid, somehow something happens to take the money away from you? That is because there's something about you that constantly attracts things to take money away from you. Your belief system. When you change your words, your belief system change. When you change your belief system, your action, your behavior changes. When you change your behavior, you change the fruit on the tree. Now, when we talk about the tree of life, we're talking about changing your words, speaking or affirming words that will help you to produce fruit that you want to see. Now, one of the affirmations that I've been saying for so long, and it is working for me every single day, is that money comes to me easily, effortlessly, without stress, and without labor. I say those words at least 20 to 50 times a day, depending on, how much I remember to say them. And every time I say that, you know what's happening? It's causing me to attract more money into my life. It's causing me to attract or think of ideas to create more money. It's causing me to attract opportunities. All right. These are things that are derived from the seed. These are fruits. Remember, whatever you sow, you are going to reap. So when you sow words of life over your finances, over your family, over your business, eventually you must reap the fruit. This is a law, the law of sowing and reaping. So if you don't like what you're reaping, then you gotta change what you're sowing. A lot of people don't understand this, and I need you to get it that life and death is in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit. And if you want to change the fruit of your life, ladies and gentlemen, you gotta change what you're sowing. This is one of the key. If you can just apply only this principle to your life, you don't need to know how it works. You don't need to explain the spiritual law behind it. All you need to do is apply the law, the principles, and you will get the results.